And I know it's really hard. Some days we're all going 100 miles per hour. It's not the easiest thing to do. But when you can, when situations happen, like it is so fulfilling to teach your kids things, and it's so neat when they come back and they kind of reinforce what you've taught them by reminding you of some of the things that you need to change. Hello, everyone. We are Greg and Jacquie Francis, and welcome to High Performance Parenting, where our passionate goal is to encourage you to raise champion children in a crazy world. Every week, we will bring you multiple episodes from our extensive experience of raising our six happy, healthy, successful, godly kids who are confidently equipped to win big in life.
We deeply believe that any parent who is provided with the right knowledge and continual support can raise amazing kids. And when they do, all of our futures get better. If raising up future generations of absolute champions matters to you as much as it does to us, here's how you can contribute. Like and share this podcast with everyone you know. And together, let's embrace this journey of raising champion kids in a crazy world. Okay, here we go. So this is our last part with this one about things that our kids teach us. But the most important part of this lesson, I feel like, that we're trying to communicate is just to let your kids teach you some stuff. You know, all the great things that you've been pouring all this energy into, and then your kids are living up to it. And sometimes if you're not, don't create an environment where they can't correct you. Now, they have to do it with some honor. They have to do it with some people skills. But you got to teach them that stuff. And so, we were just talking at the end of the last one about treating other people right when they're not around, and how our kids have had to call us out on that a little bit. And it was good. In the moment, you're kind of like, all right, you don't understand what's going on. You want to be defensive, but of course, when you think about it later, you're like, oh my gosh, this is something I got to fix. God works through people, and sometimes he even works through your little kids towards you. Right. And so, I know a couple other examples I have on here is how to do the thing that you need to do without complaining. I know that we had to build that into our kids for a while, some more than others, because some of us just naturally have a personality that can do that. But now watching them do their things that they have to do without complaining, and then calling us out on it. I know I can find myself doing it when I get overloaded and overwhelmed. I can find myself just feeling like I need to quote unquote vent a little bit, but it never works. It never helps. Just kind of like belly aching about stuff. Really never. I don't know why. I don't know where we even got convinced to think that we need a place to just vent that stuff. It's like, I don't know, or maybe I just need to change my attitude about it, right? Because every time I vent, I almost feel like I reinforce it and almost back that wrong thinking even more, if that makes sense. So watching our kids actually do things without complaining and kind of reminding us to do the same, that's a big lesson I've learned from them.
Yeah, I think one thing too is that everybody's allowed to be themselves. The kids are so welcoming of everybody being themselves. They never try to make somebody else be like them. And that's one thing that I think is so neat about, learning from kids, is that they actually enjoy typically being themselves. And they like everybody else to be themselves too.
Yeah.
And when we don't allow each person to be themselves, it really just causes anxiety, And I give this example sometimes because usually when we're doing projects, Greg has his way of he likes things done his way. He's usually thought it through. And even if it's not the best way, it's the way that will work because you put it together.
That's for sure. It's the best way.
And so typically, he has a helper, and it can a lot of times be Drew's because you guys are kind of doing, a lot of projects together. And I can't tell you how many times at the end of a project, because you and I are kind of let's get the project done, we sometimes forget our people skills.
Yeah.
With our own kids.
Yeah, I know. I experienced this firsthand. When was it? It was a couple of weeks ago. Drew's has a bike shop here for our bikes, because when we go on bike rides, it seems like a handlebar breaks or
pedal.
A brake thing comes off, or, a flat tire happens.
Oh, they're holding a pedal. Really.
And, when we go on a bike ride, there's 8 of us. So the likelihood of something going wrong with one of them is kind of high. It seems like.
It wasn't until here, I swear.
Yeah. I don't know. There's all these weird thorns out of bushes here that can pop tires and stuff that you don't even know they're there. Anyways, but a lot of times, as you were saying, when I'm in a hurry, I'm trying to get something done. I want just to be helped the way I need help. And sometimes when Drews is trying to like over help, his heart is so right, but I'll get pretty snippy with him, and I'll correct him pretty harshly. And then I kind of justify it through just, don't even want to be doing this, or I'm just tired of doing this, or it's taking too long and whatever. And I get it. It's something I got to fix. You do the same thing, right? But the other day, Drews was fixing something on one of the bikes, and I think it was Ellie that was there. And I literally hear him yell at her and be like, help me the way I want to be helped, or don't help at all. I'm like, I literally wanted to go be like, I'm like, oh, ruh-roh. Like, that is like a word for word statement I've probably said to him 6 times, you know what I mean?
6?
All right, maybe 6 times 6, but it's kind of like forgiveness. Not just 7 times, son. 7 times 70.
Yeah. That's
Have you ever read that?
Yeah. Put your eyebrows down.
No, you put your eyebrows down.
Yours are coming out of your forehead.
Stinkerific eye. Yeah. So, anyways, it's just I've learned from it, because when you see it, I'm like, but you know what? I mean, for a little bit, I kind of beat myself up about it, and then I just like, oh, okay, I just gotta fix it. I just gotta fix it, and it'll all get fixed from us down. When I start having more patience, he'll have more patience, and he's just in such an impressionable age that I just have to be very aware of that, and it just takes a little bit more patience, right?
Yeah. It's something they teach us definitely about
You want to talk about some of the things you do wrong that have been duplicated? Because, I'm sure our audience would like to hear those things.
I don't have many examples.
Yeah, I know. That's when you go quiet.
No, you're just mad because you got called out by Drew.
Not mad at me. You're mad at your dad.
Stop promoting movies that we don't even promote. Like, we don't even...
That's another lesson for our kids. Don't watch bad movies, because they never leave your mind.
That's an understatement of the year.
Okay.
We were literally, not to go down this path, but...
Oh, boy. Where are we going?
Down a path.
Okay.
We watched movies growing up, you and I did. And there was a couple of them we were like, oh, man, these are great movies for the kids. Like, oh, my gosh, we should watch this as a family.
Yeah. Like, what was it? Like Home Alone.
Yeah, we were like, this thing's hilarious, guys.
Remember we set up a Christmas night? We're like, oh, the kids are probably really like we set up a movie night. Everybody sits down on the couch. This movie comes on. The stuff these kids were saying to their parents, the stuff they were saying to each other. Then they like lock the kid in a room or something. All of a sudden they take off on an airplane, leave their kid. I'm like, okay, we got to stop this movie. You guys.
And burglars are getting in while he's by. Like, I'm like, so we're never leaving again. Like, our kid, what?
Our kids were just looking at it like, what is happening? And why are we watching this, Mom and Dad?
And they didn't know if they should laugh because we suggested the movie, or like if they should just endure it. Like, they're like, and you and I look at each other like, just kidding, guys. Like,
I know. And then later, of course, somebody innocent will come up and be like, so your mom and dad had let you guys watch that when you were little? Just all nice and innocently.
How old were you? And I'm like,
and we're kind of like, yeah, I think we can do it better from us down,
We were just laughing to ourselves. We went to bed that night. We're both like, what?
It's so funny, though, because sometimes you watch movies today and you're just like, oh my gosh, so much garbage in movies. But then when we look at the movies from 25 years ago, 30 years ago, whatever.
Yeah, we're not promoting movies. In fact, if you're listening to this with your kids,
they've been bad forever. Yeah. I mean, they've been bad the whole time. And that's why they still kind of randomly fall out of your mouth sometimes. Statements from different stuff, etc. So anyways, all right, well.
Yeah, so learn from our kids. Certain movies are not good movies to watch.
Yeah, how to protect your mind, right?
They're teaching us how to protect ours
protect your
too.
Ear gates and your eye gates. My goodness, right? But it is true though. Like, that's something that we've built into them, and to this day, I mean, Abby's so good about it. Most kids are. Probably all of them are, actually.
Well, and some of them have learned the hard way to be.
Some have had to learn the hard way, but whether it's reading a book and all of a sudden it's talking about stuff that you don't want in your head, it's like, oh, whatever. Just use an example.
Yeah.
The whole family, parents passed away, and then this was the deal. And it's like, you put that stuff in your head when you're 8 years old, and all of a sudden, now you're having nightmares about this. Now you create a fear.
Yeah.
A spirit of fear in you that this could happen every time your parents leave the house. And we're like, no, we got. So anyway, so Abby and the kids are really good about, I don't think we should read this book. And then we don't just keep it and be like, no, we just throw it away, right? We don't even give it away because we're like, we don't want to put that on somebody else either.
Well, after the kids said that, I was like, okay, then make a pile and we can donate them or something like that. And one kid asked me a long time ago, they're like, but why would we donate these books for somebody else to read if they're not good for us to read?
Wow.
And I was like, you're right. Just throw it away. Yeah. Like if the discernment is it's not a good book for whatever reason. And I will tell you, parents, sometimes even some of the books that they've had checks in their spirit about, which sometimes kids will have checks that as parents you might not. You might not be listening to the Holy Spirit like they are.
Imagine in a school system right now. Let the kids have some discernment, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I was like, I was in the middle.
Okay, focus.
And you wonder where the stink eye is.
Just focus, will you? You need to concentrate.
I don't even know what I was talking about. It's like
I remember this one when we were driving, and didn't Hunter correct you for not using your blinker?
Yeah, my 4-year-old literally tells people, "Good thing I was with my mom today. She forgot to use her blinker," and they look at me and I'm like, I was in the neighborhood. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, Hunter, like, honey, or she'll tell me, Mom, green means go. I'm like,
some of it's tricky though, because like sometimes we're on a trip and I'll hear the kid, they'll be sitting there in a seat where they can like see the whole dash, and they'll be like, so Dad, what's that thing over there? I mean, that number that's saying, I'm like, well, that's a speedometer. They're like, yeah, but that sign said the speed limit's only 55, but you're doing 85. Yeah. How come? Is that okay?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm not taking this trip across the country doing 55 miles an hour.
So it is okay for you on this trip.
I just tell them successful people drive fast.
Is that what they'll tell the cop? The best is when Greg gets pulled over with the kids in the car.
Yeah, those are good learning lessons too. How to get out of a speeding ticket. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or out of jury duty or whatever else is going on in your life.
Oh my gosh, I got to do that.
I know you do.
Again.
Anyways. I don't know why they keep recruiting you.
No kidding.
No
what
idea
the heck?
Why they think it'd be a good idea to put you on the jury duty.
I remember though the one speeding ticket.
Which one?
Yeah, the one. And
before or after we hired the lawyer?
Yeah. So the kids, I actually got a ticket that time. I was taking them to gymnastics, I think.
Great.
And I'm like, okay. But I was teaching them, like, okay, let me explain to you how I'm going to talk to this police officer. Like, and like, see, I pull all the way off the road, so this way it's safe for the guy. I don't want him to be out there in traffic. I want to show him respect and show him honor. I'm not going to lie about anything, and they're like, okay. And they did it, and it went better. He gave me a big discount on the amount that it was, because it could have been a lot worse. And then I said, okay. And they're like, well, what are you going to do now, Dad? And I said, well, now I'm going to actually, oppose this. And really, how does that work? And I taught them the whole process of just going through that and how to use people's skills and how to be honest, but still use people's skills and ask for some grace. And it was funny because they were so into it. They were just like,
sure.
Oh, how did your meeting go with the attorney tonight? Anyways,
they were invested in this.
We are for sure digressing here. So
totally. We won't talk about the time when we got pulled over 20 minutes away from our house.
Oh my gosh. On our way to Florida.
20-hour drive, and our dog almost
8 of us, 3 dogs in the car.
No, the dog almost came through your side of the
And we have
window.
A 22-hour drive ahead of us. We started driving like 10 o'clock at night, and we're 20 minutes into it.
And you're already speeding.
And we got pulled over. And the guy was just like, wait, what are you doing? I'm like, no, we just started. I just told him the truth. Dogs are going, row, 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 like trying to get through the window at this guy. They can't hardly see him. He looks kind of shadowy because it's just dark.
Well, it was so dark.
And they were not going to let him in. And he's just like, wait, you still have 22 hours to go? You just started. I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to give you a ticket at the start
Nice
of this.
guy, sweet guy.
I just can't do this to you. And I'm like, thanks. So anyways, but
yeah, so many lessons learned. The kids have taught us so much. It's best when it comes up and reminds us of what we've already taught them. And I think if anything, though, I got to tell you, parents, have fun with it. Like, we have so much fun with it. I mean, there's got to be honor and respect that comes along with it. But, like, again, it shows that nobody is perfect. Like, we're all imperfect. I mean, not everybody can do things, right the first time. We're all going to make mistakes. And so when our kids see that, they know that it's going to be okay. You know what I mean? That mom and dad are going to need to be reminded. They're going to need to be reminded. It's nothing to be embarrassed about, nothing to shy away from, that we can all, learn and grow and change.
Right.
And when we do it, then we feel more confident to know what we're going to do in the future. And I think too, it also, whenever like there's an opportunity to teach your kids. And I know it's really hard. Some days we're all going 100 miles per hour. It's not the easiest thing to do. But when when situations happen, like, it is so fulfilling to teach your kids things, and it's so neat when they come back and they kind of reinforce what you've taught them by reminding you of some of the things that you need to change. And even the situations with getting a ticket or whatever the case may be, those are situations that you naturally could be really upset about. You could handle it, differently. You could be mad at yourself and like be upset about it and stuff like that. But the truth was, you were speeding. You know what I mean? So let's just own it. Let's talk about it and let's move on with it. And the kids are so appreciative that then they know what they can do for the future.
How come when I get things in the mail that are pictures of you going through red lights and stuff, and then then you deny them though? Like, how does that play in?
You mean I deny that I was driving it? Because
Yeah.
I'm not driving it. I see your face in my dashboard.
That's such a lie.
And you want me to be responsible?
it.
Are you kidding me? I'm not falling for your junk. I'm
Denial,
not
honey. It's called denial.
I'm going to have the kids teach you a few things, okay?
Right on it, Rose. Hey everyone, thanks for listening and thanks for your love and support. We hope that today's episode added tremendous value to you and your family. It would mean so much to us if you would partner with us on our mission of helping parents around the globe raise champion children in this crazy world.
To do so, simply take a moment to like and share this podcast with everyone in your network. And we have great news. You get more of us. You can expect new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings. So be sure to consistently tune in with us and enjoy our show. See you next time.